they were like, no. Hang out with Roshi, Krillin, and Oolong. This seems like a great idea.
This never goes wrong.
Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, also known as Dragon Ball Z. Burn up, hot fight, violent fight, super fierce fight. Debuted March 6, 1993. Toonami got this exactly once. December 20th, 2014. Again, a month of movies pick. Because December was the month of movies, and this was surprisingly near Christmas. So, Broly, Legendary Super Saiyan is a Christmas movie in the eyes of Toonami.
As it
Uh,
should.
there is technically a big star thing.
Broly is very festive.
Yeah.
It's about family.
It's about giving gifts to your children that suppress
Yeah.
their powers.
I guess
We see Goku in the manger.
We see Goku in the manger and in a suit.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that style. Goku. I love suit Goku.
Business
Goku
Goku.
Because he's in his monkey suit.
Oh.
Anyway, I do like that whole scene with Goku and Chi-Chi trying to get Gohan into this school, and Goku like, but Chi-Chi, I'm bored. My friends are playing. Can I go?
I also love that, like in universe, the idea that Goku would have to like interview for this after what's happened in this universe, and like, surely couldn't you just ask Bulma to slip them all like 5 million Zenny and be done with it?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like, there's a lot going on here. Also, the idea that Vegeta would tolerate, albeit not happily, Krillin's karaoke.
I also quite like the idea that this interview, Gohan didn't turn up for it. So like, well, we've got to go to this interview. What should we do with Gohan while we're doing that? Send him off with Roshi. That will be fine.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, they didn't bring Gohan with them, and they were like, no. Hang out with Roshi, Krillin, and Oolong. This seems like a great idea.
This never goes wrong.
Never goes wrong ever. Poor Trunks. Poor Trunks this whole movie. Like,
I love Trunks in this movie because Trunks in all this era always looks the odd one out whenever you see him with any other characters.
They never quite know what to do with him in the crowd sequences or anything. He's just kind of like along for the ride. He does get the coolest transformation.
he does.
Um, yeah, it's a very, I mean, John, do you want to go into the timeline placement of this one?
I can give you what Daisenshu 6 gives us, which is Gohan is able to transform into a Super Saiyan, but with Goku and the others so casually enjoying the Cherry Blossom Festival when they should otherwise be engaged with Cell, even though this movie would seem to take place between Cell reaching his perfect form and the Cell games, it does not fully fit. So this is another on our list of the Daisenshu hold up their hands, go, what do you want us to do here? However, common fan theory suggests this is in the same universe as Tree of Might.
I can see
Simply because the film booklet the booklet for the film came with a diagram of Saiyan relationships, and Turles is included in Goku's family tree, which he's not in the usual stuff. So
Yeah, it's like the Ocean Dub calling him like a distant cousin or part of the same low-ranking gene pool.
just randomly he reappears in it, and he's kind of funny because if you had that before the film, you go, "Oh, he must be relevant to this film." No, he's not involved at all.
No, not even a mention.
We do get a Bardock name drop though in the dub.
Yeah.
We get a Bardock name drop.
Bardock's son, yes, Paragus. Paragus has been doing his history. He's on 23andMe.
One of the things I appreciate about Dragon Ball Super Broly is that they retain the Paragus design.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that, but they certainly didn't for Broly. But they did it for old Paragus, and he's such a slime ball in this movie compared to Super.
I think he's worse in Super in personally. Like, I think this version of Paragus, while not great, I mean, Saiyans are not known for being great parents. I'm just going to throw that out there. Kind of a kick you out of the nest sort of species.
I mean, he
Super
basically
version.
Paragus basically enslaves a planet of like Pokemon Potomeo people and then like
But
has them tow away in his mind.
but he was personally torturing Broly in like the Super movie for like 40 years. He had a
They're kind
shock collar on him.
Yeah, I
He has a
mean, he
shot collar on him in this.
he does. He tries. Remember, it breaks during Pantera's sequence.
We
Oh,
just
right, the
don't.
Pantera sequence. I forgot about the Pantera sequence.
We just
Yeah,
don't get like the over the top like electrical crackles in this, but yeah, it is confirmed that is an electrical shock gauntlet.
Well, man, they just really like electrocuting the crap out of this guy.
they
Maybe I'd
do.
be mad too if I were Broly. Not gonna lie to you.
Sure. I mean,
He has justified reasons for being angry, but probably not all the way justified.
not like I'm going to blow up this mine full of Potomeo people, justified, but like, I mean, I remember when this movie came out, it was a big deal for Funimation. You could pre-order it for months, and you could pre-order the soundtrack album that came with it, which featured Pantera and other new metal acts that appear throughout the film. And because of that, you can't really stream this one on Crunchyroll because of the music licensing that goes associated with the dub. Oopsie daisy. Um, yeah, I think I'm sure I'd heard Pantera or something in some capacity before, but I certainly
You
I
must have heard,
certainly associate them with this
yeah,
movie.
you must have heard "Walk." That was their famous single.
Yeah, or Cowboys from Hell, whatever it was. But this, yeah, I mean, we get seconds here if I remember
I
correctly.
think I don't understand that Funimation made this into the biggest deal in the world to the point they were treating it like it was canon, like in the same way they would sort of do with Garlic Junior Saga.
Yeah.
Funimation were making this out to be just like the biggest thing in the world. Products they were making a lot of money off it. This got like a full slate of big releases, really nice DVD release before that was really the norm.
Yeah, yeah, they really went all out. It was all over their website when they announced it was coming for through its release. I'm pretty sure I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure they, maybe like when they were talking to video game publishers like Atari or Bandai Namco, they're like, you could, add Broly to this. You could add him to like Budokai 3 and it would be great.
I mean, Broly is kind of like the Dragon Ball Sephiroth in a weird way. Like, he's always going to be he's going to be your secret boss fight. He's going to have that cool design, and everybody's going to forget about the fact that he didn't like Goku because he cried too much as a baby.
I remember Attack of the Saiyans on the DS or 3DS literally has this whole thing of like, oh, there's a reality rift has opened up right near the Vegeta fight. It's like, well, that's not kind of. Oh, right, so we can have a Broly fight.
Yeah, yeah. I want
Broly's
to
the
say,
guy.
was it Shin Budokai on the PSP that had something similar? I
I
know
think
that's how they
so.
also brought in Janemba. They were just like, hey, it's an alternate future. And look, there's Janemba. And I guess Broly too. And it's like, well, that doesn't even.
A lot of them
Okay.
have like weird secret Broly fights. I think there was a Legacy of Goku, I think, had a secret Broly fight at one point too.
I think it does because the DVD release has a Chris Sabat going around the Legacy of Goku studios interviewing them
Yeah.
uh, about the game and very heavily basically turning to the camera saying, buy this every 30 seconds.
Also, I'll say this outside of like Linkin Park AMVs, the big fight is just the finale of Super Android 13 extended for like another 20 minutes. It's there's not a lot of it's just like let's see what we can do to stop him. Oh, nothing stops him. Oh, let's hit them all at once. Oh, this doesn't work either. Oh, crap. Oh, can I borrow all of your energy again? Thank you.
This also. Oh,
Say
go
every
ahead.
30 seconds live Vegeta reaction, then back to
Yeah.
the fight.
I was just gonna say this to me is the most egregious Piccolo arrival, I think, because I don't know how he got here. It's just Gohan yelled and there he
He brought a
is.
space. He literally says he brought a spaceship.
That's how
Yeah,
they
but
yeah.
how but why? But why,
Because
Piccolo?
I love Funimation at him being like, "Oh, I overheard your conversation with King
King Kai.
Kai, and I
Yeah.
can hear everything because of my special ears." I'm like, "Oh God, I don't want to know what Piccolo can hear when things are quiet."
Mm.
Piccolo can hear Piccolo's like that one girl from Encanto where she can hear everything.
Piccolo can hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
But no, I do think, I know they tried to like talk it away or justify it. There is no reason for Piccolo to be here other than for Gohan and aura farming. Only reasons.
Oh, I love it because he goes, I can't instant transmission. So I love the idea that Piccolo, like this entire time, has been sat there on a ship with like a magazine. Like I hope I'm
Waiting
not
for
dead
Piccolo.
by the time I arrive.
Well, and it's a big spaceship too. I mean, conveniently to save all the little
The
puffin.
emotions.
Yeah, yeah, and all the I love that last shot of them all crowded in there, and like Vegeta and Piccolo are back to back, and neither clearly in a good mood about it.
Personal
Yeah,
space.
yeah, it's a big spaceship that Piccolo is just kind of like sitting there, presumably meditating for like hours, if not days.
He was just waiting for his cue. He was like, my entrance is gonna be great. Screw Vegeta for stealing my Super Android 13 entrance. Now I'm gonna be the real one, and he did. And good for Piccolo. Best entrance in the whole movie.
He's like, I started Back to the Future too, so I don't want to leave till I finished it. You know,
And he'll
The
be fine.
some of the color grading in this movie is kind of weird.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
we get kind of Triamite coloring for like brief periods.
there's also it's an error. I think it's an error that's in all versions of it. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan to blast Broly in the back when he realizes Broly's the legendary Super Saiyan. There's a shot where it cuts up of him above where he's regular base state Vegeta. And then when he goes back down to the ground, you see him go from Super Saiyan to base state again. And I was like, every time I watch that scene, Pantera or not, I'm like, okay, all right.
During the fight with Broly.
I was gonna say the power chords of Pantera couldn't distract you from the animation.
No, no, the sweet dulcet tones of Pantera could not distract me from that error, animation error.
When they're flying through the city, bit when Brody first sort of goes Super Saiyan, you'll also see he keeps swapping forms during that flight as well for no apparent reason. Whenever he sort of crashes into a building, he will like revert for a frame.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I'm kind of wondering if, in the Dragon Ball Super Broly version, when they crash into the Arxis cutscene, I'm kind of wondering if that's like a little bit of a shout out to that.
Maybe because
I mean,
he does do
yeah,
some weird universe bendy stuff here.
it's to John's point, I think the big scene I remember is when he's first pursuing or fighting Goku, Trunks, and Gohan. He breaks into a building and it's like, yeah, he goes into base state, forms an energy ball, throws it, and like transforms back just in time to like clothesline Trunks into a guardrail or something like that.
Which, just in general, I get the feeling there was a bit of confusion between his Super Saiyan forms because he has three Super Saiyan A type, and Legendary Super Saiyan. I
Yeah.
just think there was some confusion because even from guidebooks from the time and sort of V jumps, you'll see they're not entirely sure, and there's different names, and so I think it was just badly relayed to the animators, and stuff had to be changed last minute.
Yeah, that first sequence where he fights Goku in like what I'm calling like restrained Super Saiyan mode, where it's like the weird colored hair and he still has the crown and everything. That's for me the weirdest color stuff, I think. And, licks the blood and everything. That's an odd sequence, but it does out him, I suppose, as the
The
as our
devil.
yeah, as the devil. I always love the there's certain lines in the Funimation dub where like, hey, give us a handicap. He's like, is that another word for like coffin or something like that? Like, or this is more in the Japanese dub where he eats the Kamehameha wave point blank and he's just like, what the hell was that? And then I love Goku's expression where he just kind of accepts it. He just picks him up by the hair and he's like, oh.
Goku just like, this is happening now. I do like King Vegeta, like he's a freak. He's a freak. The kid's a freak.
Which is rich coming from Vegeta of all people.
It's a it I do have a question. I do want to think this through, right? Because Broly is one of those Dragon Ball things in the fandom where it's like it's Broly, he's awesome. And I like Broly. I like the Broly movie.
Yeah.
Why do we think this is my thought exercise. Why do we think the fandom of Dragon Ball latched onto Broly so hard compared to other movie villains? Enough that he got four movies technically.
Was this successful, John?
Yes.
Okay.
It made a lot of money. It was part so this was part of a this was an Anime Fair thing, but it was another Akira Toriyama focused one. This got a whole hour. Funimation bigged this up as well. Like I would argue this was one of the most accessible Dragon Ball films. This wasn't the first one I had, but I can certainly remember seeing even, in my small town seeing this DVD all the damn time. Whereas I would have to go out to bigger cities to get any other film. I think it came just as we were having that sort of rash of fighting games as well. Like this comes out just as the Budokai games are happening and all their spin-offs. I think it was just like, here's a new character we can put in the games, and he was just everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fighting game aspect of it can't be understated because, yeah, he's huge. He's as unstoppable. I mean, he can still take damage and stuff, unlike the movie, up until the convenient punch. Um, yeah, I think he was just like it works for one movie, and then he shows up in two more.
And
Um, I, I think that's the issue of it, or that I think that's the deal of it. It's like, yo, this dude's a Super Saiyan, so he's automatically, but he's like, what if he was a Super Saiyan on like clearly HGH? And it was like, oh, well, I've always wanted that.
If we really roided him up for you.
I will
Yeah.
say that I think the problem we'll see, and we'll definitely see this, we'll watch the rest of them eventually, is that they take the wrong thing away from this film. Very clearly take the wrong thing away from this film. I also think it really helps that Broly's kind of our first villain who isn't just a recolor of a villain from the show.
Yeah.
Because everyone else we've had has been like, it's been Cooler's brother, it's been sort of a fake Vegeta kind of deal with Turles, a
Yeah.
big Meekin. This is the first kind of guy who stands alone and has a lot. You can watch this film without having watched much Dragon Ball Z. So I think this was a big entry point for people who were kind of unsure about the series would see this end up seeing this movie, and that pulled them into the franchise. Yeah, this does a really good job of explaining, hey, our planet was destroyed. This is the guy that was this is the classic exile comes back story. Got a bit of Macbeth about it.
Mhm.
So I think that really helps him, and it being an hour really helps. They have time to sort of establish him against, because as we've said quite a few times, a lot of the other films tend to have that thing of like, they rely on you knowing who the other guy is. Like Cooler was totally relying on you being like, it's Frieza, but he's bigger. This, they actually go like, Broly is this character. He has a specific motivation.
Which is
Yeah.
Goku pride a lot.
Well, and he gets a lot of screen time. We were talking last time, the last time we did a Dragon Ball Z movie, Super Android 13, that didn't get a Funimation broadcast because it was so short, you know. And Super Android 13, as much as the Funimation title makes him literally just makes him the title. They couldn't even like call it like Android Assault or anything. It's just like, no, it's just Super Android 13 with an exclamation point. Um, he doesn't get a lot of screen time in his big blue Frankenstein form, Frankenstein's monster form. you know, uh,
The
Broly
toys
gets
had felt like hotcakes.
yeah.
Yeah, we're on New Vegeta within the first 30 minutes of an hour long film. So we get like, we meet Vegeta, I think like, not Vegeta, we meet Broly about 32 minutes in. So we get a solid sort of 30, nearly 40 minutes with him.
We get a lot of time. I like the mystery aspect of it. I also like that they kind of acknowledge that it's like it's Broly, you know. There's a mystery aspect to it, but it's very clearly like, it's clearly this is the bad guy that you're going to be fighting for the remainder of this film. Um,
It's kind of like Spot the Stand user in JoJo's
yeah.
Bizarre Adventure. It's like everybody else is in like kind of regular clothes, and then you have this dude in this outfit.
Well, they
Doing that, like standing in that way or whatever.
and sinister music plays when he gets this camera on him first time. Well, I like they basically Columbo it, which I quite enjoy. Because the issue, sort of for the audience, the mystery isn't who is the Legendary Super Saiyan. We're basically immediately clued in, this is who it is. It's who will work out first, Goku or Vegeta, and what will that mean? It's a really nice way of doing it.
What do we think of the movie's treatment of Vegeta overall?
He's a little bitch, isn't he?
Vegeta does not come off great in this movie. This is not a good look for Vegeta, which, to be fair, this is like midlife crisis. We're coming upon midlife crisis Vegeta, but this is still this is the second Piccolo pulled Vegeta's hair. To me, is like the moment where you gotta be like, oh, big dog. Like that's a choice that you just made to let this grown man pull your hair.
I like Piccolo kind of immediately was like, oh, it's like Gohan all over again.
Yeah.
And Piccolo's got his whole like. I'm sorry, Jujutsu Kaisen ruined my brain when it comes to like these weird hair pulling scenes in anime, which is a weird thing to say that I've had to say more than once. But just Piccolo's whole hand in Vegeta's head and like just cupping it is so disrespectful in such a specific way.
He pulls him back. He's like, look.
He's like craning his neck back. It's so. I want to know whose doujinshi somebody traced that from. I'm sorry, somebody was tracing a thin book for this.
But what I love as well is when Vegeta starts moaning again, Piccolo's like, okay, just drops it.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He just kind of like lays like catatonic for a while, and then finally decides, I'm the Prince of all Saiyans, and like charges in and basically gets clotheslined into a building that turns into a crater instantly and decides to give up.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I like Vegeta in this film. I think it works for this film. I think it doesn't work if you watch this alongside Z. It doesn't fit his character, but I think you needed the sort of someone to have that moment of faith, the crisis of faith, to make Goku's final moment make sense. And if it's going to be anybody, I guess it has to kind of be Vegeta because he's the only one with connection to say. Like Piccolo wouldn't care. Gohan doesn't really know. Goku is an idiot. So he's the only one.
A stranger. I mean, yeah, none of it makes sense.
I don't know. I feel bad for Vegeta sometimes, and a lot of times when it comes to the movies, because I feel like between Vegeta getting treated the way he does in the films and some Piccolo usually getting his shit rocked. Like I feel bad for the Sabat characters in these movies because it always feels like they come up with the short end of the stick.
Especially in this era, Vegeta gets held back heavily by the fact we've already got sort of three main characters, and now we've got to have Vegeta. And then sort of after this, we'll start seeing them going, okay, maybe we don't need Krillin, maybe we don't need Roshi, maybe we don't even need Gohan or Piccolo in some of these. And he'll start doing better when like he has space.
I think to that point, the Roshi sequence is the most out of left field sequence. The idea that
Hungover Roshi.
he's still drunk. He goes in the max form, max power Roshi form, only to get pushed away by Oolong and Krellin. Like, you shouldn't be here. You're about to get destroyed. Like
Get
it
rocked.
does. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's the if I had to snip anything from the entire movie, that would be the little thing to get the cut.
But I love that because Funimation, in all their dubs, go out of their way to remove any mention of Roshi being drunk. But they miss exactly one because Roshi goes, "Oh, I'm so hungover." Because like when he's vomiting out the car, they change it to space sickness. It's like, oh, they tried so hard, but one still snuck through.
That frothy mug of water strikes again.
It also just makes it funny again with the whole thing of like, go, we're trying to interview for Gohan's school. Who do we leave Gohan with? The drunken old man.
Yeah.
Hey, Goku's like, hey, he took care of me, and I turned out a-okay.
My hobbies are reading and sports.
Yeah.
Goku doesn't even read. He doesn't even own a book. I think that was great for me. Goku's like, I don't even own a book. He's so mad to be there. He was ready for something to shut down the universe.
I do like that he kind of calls out like Chi-Chi. He's like, am I supposed to lie to these things? Like, just like
Is this a
like
lying competition? He's so
yeah,
like in on it too.
yeah, just like leans real close in. It's the only time we really see him serious in that sequence.
He has his like
Um,
Super Saiyan face on, knocks
yeah,
over an entire crowd of people.
yeah.
But I love because it's really nice foreshadowing as well, because it does foreshadow the conversation Goku will have with Paragus later on. The idea being that, are we lying about things? We're going to be truthful about what's going on. It does set up Goku. It's a nice comedy scene that's actually funny, and it sets Goku up really nicely in this dynamic.
Yeah, yeah, I like that that's the last exchange. My hobbies are are reading and sports. Like he let crack, comes finally comes back home after this grueling battle. What do we think of the action itself? Like, do we actually like this fight?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it suffers a little bit. I think they have Broly on the offensive a little bit too long, and it just becomes a total squash.
Oh, it's
Which,
100% a squash.
Yeah.
which I think that goes on a little bit too long. I would have liked to have maybe given like maybe Trunks or someone else kind of a hope spot in the middle, just to mix it up because we do have kind of we go over it. We cut to Vegeta, he's crying. We go back, Broly's winning again. It's like, okay, can we? I think someone needed a set piece in there just to keep it going.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see. Like, I think Trunks getting in a shot, or even like giving Piccolo a special beam cannon to like shoot a aha, and then like the smoke clears away. Like it did feel a little one note because of how thoroughly everyone was getting trounced. And I the push and pull is half the fun.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like a fair fight to the point where when Goku gets his one shot in at the end, it does feel like a cop out.
I mean, not to keep comparing the two movies because this and the Super Broly are two very different movies. But the honest truth is that Dragon Ball Super Broly really is like a 45-minute fight scene. But what they do to keep it interesting is that Broly is on the back foot as he's learning, and that makes it very interesting. And they do a lot of fun stuff with the camera, with those POV shots, which are really cool. And I think that manages to balance out the push and pull a little bit more.
Yeah, they can do
Yeah.
damage to Broly. Even, to that point, even when Goku does the closest he gets before all hell breaks loose is when he goes Super Saiyan God. And then even Broly like kind of overcomes that. Whereas this one is just like, I'm in legendary form now. Oh, you've got like Super Vegeta? That's great. That doesn't really matter. Now, do they explicitly say in the movie, in any dub or anything, that the lucky punch hits Broly's scar tissue in his belly where he got stabbed as an infant, or am I just making that up?
You're just making that up, but they do. The Century 6 specifically marks this as a different attack called the Miracle Blow, basically noting that this is a lucky punch times a billion.
Yeah, because
So
that was the way I justified it. It's like, oh, he reopened the wound he suffered as a
I
baby.
think technically you could argue AB Group go for that because they have Goku go, "You should never have been born,"
Well,
and then
why
punch him through the gut
why would King Vegeta need a knife to kill a baby?
because he's down for that old school vibe.
Like, I'm just throwing it out there. This is a violent, like, at this point in the mythos, this is a violent group of space pirates. Like, I feel like strangling the baby. It's damn. This can't be on YouTube. Strangling the baby would probably be the easier solution than needing a knife to stab this very strong baby with. Like, it's still a baby. It's still got short arms. You could make that magic happen, King Vegeta.
He blasts Paragus as well, meaning he shoots Paragus with his energy beam and is like, probably should go fetch a butter knife for the baby. So he has
Yeah,
to go to the kitchen, go to Queen Vegeta. I've got a knife for it. Okay, cool. We're doing stabbing a baby. Back in a moment, dear.
In a
yeah.
moment.
He could do laser fingers. They can do laser fingers, but no.
But no, we're gonna stab this baby. It feels too theatrical in a weird way.
Oh,
Like,
it's
I don't
super. Yeah, it's super the stylized kind of like here's the blade, like here's the
it's very Prince of Egypt a
yeah.
little
Let it
bit.
catch the light a bit before we go in.
I mean, I guess the argument is that probably isn't what happened because it's Paragus's flashback and he was dead at the time, so it's what he presumed happened.
Yeah, he goes out harder here than he does in Super too, right? He gets the
I
squash asparagus.
Gets the squash.
don't know. At least he dies to Broly, not to Frieza, who's already sort of gone down the totem pole dramatically by the time we get to Super. Like
It is
dying to Frieza at that point is kind of like a chumps game.
it is a very funny scene though, and very Frieza of him to be like, oh no, a stray energy blast killed your father. Whatever will you do? Teehee, and just walk away. Like, that is Frieza for all intents and purposes in Dragon Ball now is Team Rocket, but that's a very good Team Rocket moment.
I just we sort of hit the end. I want to bring up a really nice quote I like from the director Yamauchi, who made a really cool point. Um, when I had to work on the Broly movie, I realized that he lacked something. Although he's the most powerful Saiyan, It is this solitude of the powerful warrior I wanted to retranscribe. He can destroy galaxies but is alone compared to Goku, who he despises but has a family, just like Vegeta. When he loses at the end, he realizes that the strength is not just physical. He would have been able to unlock another kind of power if he had someone to protect. So that's his kind of thing, is what pushes, in his eyes, what pushes Goku over here. Broly has infinite power, but Goku has something to fight for, while Broly is just destruction. Which I like, and I think think the later films will kind of lose that and just be like, Broly is cool because he is strong, but really it's like, no, he's kind of the antithesis to Goku and Vegeta a little bit. Before we end, I wanted to bring up, so this had two dubs, English dubs, AB Group and Speedy again. The AB Group dub has haunted me for literal years, because AB Group, they call Broly Broly, as in the umbrella. For years, I thought that was the right way to say it, because that's what we had in Europe. It was Broly. And even in the game stuff, people would say Broly. Until I met Americans, like, oh, it's Broly. It's like, is it? No, they say Broly. And I got the American DVDs, like, wait, do they say Broly? Did they say Broly? What? No, I did check. AB Group, they call him Broly for some reason.
Because he's there to brawl.
He's an umbrella. But they also have a fun problem because they've been calling Super Saiyans Super Warriors. They have to find a way of differentiating Legendary Super Saiyan. So Broly is now the Legendary Space Warrior. So you have to have Vegeta in full growl going, I will stop the Legendary Space Warrior. It sounds so goofy. And Paragus, they decide his remote is called the Mega Remote Control Unit, and he'll call it that every single time he uses it. It makes him sound like such a chump.
It's very Super Sentai sounding.
It really does feel like buy the toy, but there is no toy of this, so I don't know what the Germans are thinking.
Well, lest we, far be it from us to figure out what the Germans are thinking.
I don't know what they're thinking. I also want to know why they called him Broly, because it caused me untold pain for years. And yeah, their version of Broly's voice is just very inconsistent. He goes back and forth on what he sounds like quite a lot. I know he has the two voices in America where he's like, oh, when he goes to like the really deep one. Here, it's just like three different people sound like they're voicing him. It's very odd. Speedy are slowly getting better, but their dialogue is better translated, but it's all crumpled and everyone's talking very fast to fit their lines in. So I literally can't understand 2 or 3 of the scenes. I couldn't work out what they were saying. But they've replaced Galaxy with Milky Way now. So we've got the Southern Milky Way, the Northern Milky Way, the Eastern Milky Way, which apparently all have their own Earth.
You know,
okay.
It's your dark chocolate Milky Way, your white chocolate Milky Way, your swirl Milky Way.
Whenever anyone screams, it all just goes to hell. No one can scream in this dub again. I think it's because the mics aren't set up, so just Broly screams like. They have a whole secondary plot point that Broly will become immortal if he gets so powerful. And Park's like, because of you, Broly will live forever. It's like, don't think that's how that works. And they default to calling them Legend. So they say the Legend of the Super Saiyan, regardless of the situation. So Vegeta has to say, I will defeat the Legend of the Super Saiyan, not the Legendary Super. So it adds an extra 3 words. And when Broly blows up the slave's planet, he just says, he blows it up and says, to go home, you'll need to defeat me. He just blew it up. Keep track. Piccolo decides rather than calling Broly a freak, he's going to start calling him a ghost. Yeah. And then Broly kind of accepts that because he's like, you're no match against the great ghost.
It was a very existential kind of dub, you know. We're doing a lot of Dr. Zhivago stuff here.
It's just really funny to me because everyone else is fine. He's like, I'm a freak, I'm the devil, I'm a monster. Then Piccolo turns to like, ghost, and everyone's just like, well, we're not going to question Piccolo. Clearly, that's a ghost.
Yeah, obviously.
And my favourite moment, when the smoke clears and we have Broly walking out, you know the SpongeBob squeaky shoes noise? Yeah. That's what they're using for Broly's steps. He comes out and it's literally squeaky. It's like all the aura gone.
Love it.
Yes. He has the cell boots, right? In the regular dub. That's basically
It's
just heavy footsteps which sound cool, not eek, eek, eek.
Yeah.
He's got delicate little squeaky shoes. But what are our final thoughts on this first excursion of many with Mr. Broly?
I think it's fine. I think it really benefited from the Linkin Park AMVs and the hype train that we got with fighting games and that sort of thing. I do think the fight is too one-sided. They really big up this guy and they're like, look, this dude's unstoppable. And it really does feel like a cop out when they take him down because of it. Um, and yet it's still the best Broly movie, as we will discuss, I'm sure, in the nearest future.
This is certainly for me a top five DBZ film. It has problems. Like, I personally would have liked to see the reveal of the city being fake be pushed back a bit to make that be a bigger thing, because it would give Trunks time to do some investigating and sort of play into his angle. And yeah, I would have liked to see again. I would like to see maybe break Trunks' sword again, just to have something to break up the never-ending Broly is here to beat the hell out of you kind of thing. It also kind of undermines him a little bit because, like, okay, you've been beating on these guys for an hour and they're not dead. Like, I know Goku is strong, but you've been throwing him against a wall. After a while, he should go splat. But it's still, this is a really nice standalone film. Broly is one of the more interesting villains we've had, one of the more developed villains we had. Even if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z, I would say this film is worth a shot. It's not my favorite because Tree of Might exists, but I think this is a better self-contained experience than that film because it pretty much tells you all you need to know about the characters pretty early on and gives you sort of all the Saiyan lore you need and stuff. A nice tight 3-minute package. You can see why Broly was popular. He came, he's the man for the Linkin Park era, licking his own blood and calling himself the devil. He would have a really great MySpace blog where he talks about, cutting himself. He's that kind of guy. The right man for the right era. Flawed, but just as a reason this film is so well loved.
There's a reason Hot Topic stocks remain very steady, and it is because of stuff like Broly. Look, I love this movie. It's fun. Everybody likes Broly. Everybody likes Broly so much that Broly gets to be in every video game. Everybody likes Broly so much that Broly got to be made canon. Like, and that's saying a lot. It's fun. It's moody. It's cool. If you are of a mind to remember the days of Pantera and Linkin Park AMVs, just check it out. It's fun. Have some fun. It's only an hour. But yeah, it is definitely a top 5 DBZ movie. But that does mean that we have pulled into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.